All right, guys, it's that time to discuss what I'm buying this month. And there are some massive names on this list, and some names did not make this list that may make a few of you guys mad out there. I mean, at least hear me out, and then you can be mad at me all you want. So, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to kind of give you guys my opinion on the state of the market from my perspective. And I'll also give you each one of those stock picks, the why behind those picks, and everything else. So just make sure you like the video if you like getting the truth out the hype, because that's exactly what you're going to get today, guys. And it may go against what a lot of folks are saying. That's okay. This is what this channel is all about. Now, before we even get rolling on anything, just remember, this is my list for the stocks that I want to buy right now currently based upon my plan, my valuation, where I see these stocks, kind of how they fit in with my portfolio, how many shares I want to own, and everything else. These are the stocks on the biggest discount from a valuation based upon my opinion only. Again, that's something you got to learn. You got to learn valuation. You got to understand how to do that in order to be able to effectively pick stocks, in order to be able to effectively understand, are you overpaying? Are you underpaying? That is the best way to understand that, and to get that answer is to understand valuation. So that right there is what I've done with these stocks. This is the reason why these stocks are on my list. And of course, the reason why some of the stocks that we're going to discuss as well are not on my list. So just kind of keep that in mind as we kind of move forward here in regards to maybe if you're questioning why this, why that, that's the reason why I have those stocks or I don't have those stocks on my list. All right, so on to the state of the market for me. Now, keep in mind your state for the market of what you're focusing on may be very, very different than what mine is, right? We all have different stocks. We all have different goals. We all have different plans. So the state of the market for the stocks that you're targeting might be completely different than the state of the market for the stocks that I'm trying to target. And of course, I'm not talking about the stock market overall because I'm not buying index funds, so I don't care. If you're buying index funds, great. There's nothing wrong with that. Then the state of the market, is the market overall overvalued, and some other things like that matter. But whether the market's significantly overvalued or significantly undervalued has zero to do with whether or not I want to buy a stock or not. For me, the market was significantly overvalued in 2021, but yet there was Apple at $115 per share. So I bought Apple during that time. That right there, Apple's, what Apple was doing had nothing to do with the market. The market was overvalued, but Apple was significantly undervalued. And that just tends to happen over time. Sometimes I have stocks and, I don't know, the market will be in the toilet. Think about 2022. Market's in the toilet and stocks like McDonald's are riding at all-time highs and incredible PE ratios. They're incredibly overvalued by any metric you wanted to use. But hey, we're right in the middle of a bear market. Market's down 30%, but then there's McDonald's and other stocks like that riding high and significantly overvalued as well. So a lot of times for me, when I view the state of the state of the market has nothing to do with my particular stock pick. So I'm not talking about the market overall. For me, the stocks that I'm looking at, the stocks that I want to buy, and the stocks that I own, the vast majority of them are definitely trading rich right now. Valuations are stretched. And I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not disagreeing with that. In my opinion, the stocks that I want to buy and the stocks that I own, a lot of them are trading really, really rich right now. But having said that, I am not thinking about selling any of them. There are plenty of these stocks that are on this list that were overvalued 20% ago, 30% ago. And guess what? They've kept running. So then I would have been playing the game of, oh crap, now do I FOMO in because they've continued to run? Do I wait for a pullback? Are they going to pull all the way back over the course of the next earnings call or two? Because if they don't, and you sold at that what you felt was, and what really was, in my opinion, an overvalued price, now, they have the earnings to back up that higher price. So now you're forced to buy in at a higher price. Plus, you got to pay taxes on all those other capital gains. At least for me, I'd be paying taxes on those capital gains on the earlier sell and all kinds of other stuff like that. It's just a game I don't play. So no, I'm not considering selling anything. However, it means that I don't have nearly as many stocks to buy as I want to. There are times when this list is, I don't know, I end up picking just like the top 5 or 6 or 7 because really there's 12 on the list. But, it'd make for a forever long video. Nobody wants a video that long, so I don't make it. But nonetheless, there's times when my entire watch list is a buy. And heck, that can be, 20 stocks sometimes. And all 20 of them are all a buy at that stage because they're so significantly undervalued, just based upon what's going on at that particular time with those particular companies. I mean, heck, just our portfolio challenge thing that we started with our group there just started at 6 months ago. I'm up 40% already in that portfolio. 40 freaking percent in just 6 months. That's a ridiculous return in a very short period of time. And hey, shout out to our members. I got members that are crushing me. They're up 50, 60% during that same exact time frame as well. Obviously, they're picking a little bit different mix of stocks, maybe bought different stocks at different times. But the point being, typically when you see multi-year gains in just a very, very short period of time, not always, but typically, it means valuations are stretched for those companies that you're looking at. And unfortunately, that's the situation with a lot of the stocks that I want to buy right now, but we still have some stocks that we can buy. Just keep that in mind, kind of like my Apple example earlier. There's always going to be stocks on a discount. It just may not be as many stocks as you want on a discount, and it may not be the stock that you want to buy at that particular time at that discount. And that's kind of where DCA and some of the other strategies that we talk about as well kind of help you mitigate that and allow you to still be able to add to the positions that you want to add to. Patience and discipline in the end is going to win. So let's jump into the stocks that I'm going to buy first. So first up is Amazon. Now this one for me is getting close to fair value there. It kind of seems to run up a little bit and then it kind of keeps coming down. It kind of can't break through a few resistance points that it has out there on the charts and all that good stuff. You guys know I don't really get into charting and such. I care about valuation. So for me right now, I have Amazon on a simple DCA. Anytime it dips down below 180, I start adding on that DCA marker and I just continue DCA until it runs back up over it again. So for me, that's an undervalued price for Amazon. In regards to where I have valuation for it, I have a full position. I don't need any more Amazon. So if I don't get to add any, that's okay. That's kind of why I have that 180 mark there. But, Wall Street wants to get silly here coming into all the craziness with the election and everything else. Hey, awesome. I'll happily buy more Amazon. To me, that's an easy money stock in 5 years. There's no doubt about it. Great company. I can't think of a single negative to Amazon in regards to the stock itself and what I think it's going to do over the next 5 years. So, hey, you want to give it to me on a discount? I'll happily continue to DCA into that stock. So stock number 2 is Google. I understand that a lot of folks are concerned with the Justice Department and all the other stuff around that. I just say, hey, welcome to big tech in the stock market is what I would say in response to that. This happens all the time. There are plenty of times where our government kind of gets involved with a lot of our stocks that we love, especially big tech. They do everything from this. We're going to break you up. I couldn't tell you how many times they're going to break up Apple, Microsoft, Google, you name it. Everybody has been threatened to be broken up 100 different times. It just hasn't happened yet. I feel like legally the law is slanted. And more importantly, these companies have lawyers in place to kind of keep them on the right side of that law. So I'm not concerned with that. We are years till you get to a final thing that happens. And you can actually make a case if you really want to dig deep that actually, Google being forced to spin off may actually generate more profits into the future there in regards to Google. So for me, it's not a concern at all. Again, it's a great company, great stock. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to be a bigger company 5 years from now than it is today. So, hey, you want to give me a discount? I will happily add more Google. So right now I have it on a simple DCA. I'm going to DCA every time it gets down below 160. And again, great company, great stock, and I'll continue to own it into the foreseeable future and continue to add to it every time Wall Street wants to get dumb. Now, before we move on with the list, let's talk about Tesla because I know a lot of you guys asked me about Tesla. Why I have the valuation so low, why I, don't necessarily have it on my buy list. And it didn't make this list either because it's not close enough to a buy for me yet. Mid 100s is kind of where I want to buy more Tesla. That's for 2 reasons. One, if you do a valuation on Tesla, right now it's overvalued still, just is. Until we see that EPS number improve significantly, not a little bit, not marginally, significantly, it's going to continue to be undervalued until volume and a lot of other things kick in. Now, I agree. You want to kind of be ahead on Tesla, but you don't need to be years ahead of Tesla. All the folks back in 2021 figured that out, right? Oh, you want to get in before it goes too late? Yeah. Well, here we are 4 years later, almost 4 years later, and you're able to buy it significantly cheaper than you were 4 years before because a lot of those things that are future facing when you got to think Wall Street in the end is the one that moves the stock market. And they're looking out 6 months, maybe a year at max. And right now, outside of, Tesla preview right up here, Tesla earnings preview, outside of a big announcement that we discussed in that preview video, there's not any real short-term catalyst over the next year. Obviously we can improve margins, we can improve EPS. It's going to give us a nice little bump up there. But right now, in terms of valuation, hey, if the stock price doesn't dip down lower, we may just be getting back to fair value over the next couple of quarters in regards to the stock price and where it's at right now. So I know a lot of folks out there are going to call me a bear. I don't know how you can be a bear if you actually buy the stock and continue to hold the stock and have never sold a single share of the stock, much less shorted it or anything else. But I don't know, YouTube logic, I couldn't tell you at that stage. But I am very bullish on the company. It is not crazy overvalued. I am not saying that at all. However, when you have a full position and you own a lot of shares, I am under no pressure, no stress to build out a position in this particular stock, especially whenever it's at a time frame that it is. I got blasted the same exact thing last year when a stock was at 250, 260, and I was kind of like, hey, my price target's, well under $200. Sorry. Elon told us it's going to be a rough go for the next year. So I adjusted my price target accordingly, and we were rewarded for that by adjusting that price target down. And that's why I continue to keep it down, because right now I don't have solid indications of anything moving forward. And on top of that, we're trading really, really rich. If we were trading down in that low 100 range, I'd be saying something very, very different, but we're not. And I have to deal with the reality of today and where we were at. And just simply because I'm giving a realistic price for Tesla and realistically where it's at does not mean I'm bearish or anything else like that. It just means I'm giving you exactly what's going on with the stock market, what Wall Street thinks, and more importantly, going back to that valuation, because that's what matters in the end. Not hype projections, not this could be $1 trillion, that could be $1 trillion, this is 10 trillion, whatever the case is. It's not how investing works. Talk to all the folks in 2021 if you think that that's the case, because I don't think you're having such a good time if you bought Tesla at those highs. So with Tesla, be prepared, because crazy things tend to happen around Tesla. That's why I'm prepared. That's exactly why I'm ready for this earnings call, which, by the way, the spooky holiday sales live, we'll be watching those Tesla earnings in real time, where you can talk to me about it in real time while we watch it. I'll give you exactly what Wall Street's going to think, exactly how they may react to stock price, a lot of other things like that. You want to see all the buys and all the stocks we're talking about today, my complete watch list for price targets, where you see those $250 portfolio challenge buys, where I'm up almost 40% in 6 months, and so much more. Free coaching, 5 courses. Guys, there's more down there. We'll talk about it at the end of the video, but check out the pinned comment. Take advantage of that spooky sale before it ends on Halloween. All right, now on to the last stock pick, and let's see how fired up you guys get about this stock, because sometimes you guys get quite fired up about it. So the last one would be PayPal. This stock is finally moving, but guess what? I don't care about stocks moving. I care about, is it undervalued or overvalued? And even though it has bounced big from that bottom, we are still undervalued from a valuation perspective. And so in regards to where to put my money right now, PayPal is absolutely one of the cheapest places per se to put my money right now, despite the big run up off those bottoms in the 50s. Look, we got great news. The company has clearly been executing on a very, very high level. And I think we are at the beginning of the EPS turnaround. I think that EPS turnaround is going to continue to accelerate per Alex's plan. And as some of these new projects and some of these new initiatives continue to roll out, the ones that they've done so far are working awesome, and they're not even the big hitters. The big hitters are coming. And don't even get me started on things like advertising and other things of that nature, which are going to be even bigger hits, not hits, bigger gains to the bottom line, to that EPS number, which is going to accelerate that even further and could kick it into hyperdrive. Now, those are all more speculative, so I'm not counting on them. But right now, when I just view it from a valuation perspective, if they just continue to execute like they have and we don't get any sort of acceleration, it's still undervalued. And I'm still very, very happy to add shares at this price. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now remember, if you want to see those buys in real time, you want to be able to talk to me anytime you want, jump on those earnings calls for Tesla, Palantir, and others. Be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8-figure Discord out there. Get 5 courses for free. Use the stock analyzer tool for free. Get your free coaching. Make sure you take advantage of the spooky sale that's going on right now in regards to this, so that way you can learn how to do evaluation. You can learn how to effectively set up a watch list and know when to buy and when to actually execute on your plan, and so much more. Make sure you check out the pinned comment. Take advantage of the sale before it ends. It's going to end on Halloween, guys, and that's coming up. So check out the pinned comment and see if a membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.